we also knew that it wasn't a date night movie, so, like, play stupid games, win stupid prizes, but, like, holy shit. And also, like, somehow we've decided that, two quirky white guys are qualified to talk about a movie that is, like, almost an exploration of, like, eh, modern day, like, sexualization and, like, fucking the Hollywood system, like, just or entertainment industry in general.
Hi, I'm Tom, and I've never seen the Titanic, but I have seen The Room at least 3 times.
And I'm Sean, and I think Forrest Gump is fine. There, I said it.
And this is Flicks and Flops, the podcast where we watch movies, talk nonsense.
And pretend to know what we're doing.
Grab your snacks, lower your expectations, and let's ruin some cinema together.
Because nothing says film analysis like two friends arguing over whether Nicolas Cage is a genius or just bored.
And welcome back to another episode of Flicks and Flops. Sean and I don't even know how to begin discussing this one totally. I mean, what was it, last week or something like that? We saw The Substance. And
Yeah.
I don't even know where to begin, quite honestly, with this movie because it was a lot to take in.
Yeah, definitely. Saying that we saw it is one way of putting it. I would say we experienced it, and we also watched it with our significant others. Which, to those of you at home, I wouldn't recommend doing that.
It's not
Just
like a date night movie. I don't know why.
no, no. I granted, not for nothing. We also knew that it wasn't a date night movie, so like play stupid games, win stupid prizes, but like holy shit. And also, like, somehow we've decided that, two quirky white guys are qualified to talk about a movie that is, like, almost an exploration of, like, eh, modern day, like, sexualization and, like, fucking, um, the Hollywood system, like, just or entertainment industry in general. Like, just so many, like, for a oh my god, it's, like, so weird because in some ways, this movie is so genius, and in other ways, it's like, what the actual fuck? And that what the actual fuck varies from a, "Oh, this is, like, fucking insane," to a, "Okay, you've kinda lost me here." At
I mean,
least from my end.
honestly, taking the time to really think about this, I think it's one of the deepest movies that we've ever seen together. Like, there's a lot of symbolism, there's so many metaphors. Everything is really well done and very intentional about this movie. Like, nothing is just there for the sake of being there. But it's just one of those movies. It's like how I was saying after the movie, it's one of the best movies that I'll ever see once in my life because there's no way I could ever sit through something like that again. But, let's break it down from the very get-go. The whole
Yeah.
basis of this movie is you have Demi Moore playing Elizabeth
Elizabeth
Spark,
Sparkle.
which honestly, a great name because at first I was like, what a stupid, stupid name. But as the movie goes on, I'm like, actually, that's just genius.
Well,
Like,
it also fits with the fact that, like, I don't know if this was intentional, but they kind of make her, at least for like a part of her character, like, what if Richard Simmons was hot Demi Moore, basically? Like, which by the way, she looked insane in this movie, which I think is also like,
phenomenal.
which I think is a testament to the point of, because I mean, I remember there was like a they've Hollywood's been exploring this forever. There's like a fucking really famous Twilight Zone episode about it. There's like a Batman the animated series about it. Like the concept of like an older woman who is objectively beautiful, but like due to aging and society being like really shitty, like thinks they're unattractive and like not worthy anymore, that sort of thing. Which is interesting how they tackle in this movie because like she starts off looking incredible, but then going back to your point about how deep this movie is, it's like the more she struggles slash chooses to actively not embrace herself in her age, the worse she looks, not only on the inside but also like on the outside. I mean, granted, part of that was also because Margaret Qualley as Sue was actively fucking her over. on the substance. But anyways, like yeah, no, it's just that's honestly kind of I don't think her entire character is based on that, but I mean the dance show absolutely was the Richard Simmons shit. Like
The dance show was so good. And I like to think of it as they picked the name Sparkles because as the movie goes on, she loses her sparkle, right? She loses her shine on everything. But the whole idea of the movie is that while Elizabeth Sparkles has been doing this whole kind of thing of 80s aerobic workout kind of style, she's a little bit older. You know, the movie kind of hints that she's like her 50s or give or take, which I think is still young, but you know, we figure it out.
I mean, she's 63 in real life,
Yeah,
dude, and she
she
was
looks
like
great.
she was 61 when they filmed this movie, like and looks like that. I mean, I don't know.
But they have a whole great part where very early on in the movie, you see Dennis Quaid, who, quick sidebar, every time I see Dennis Quaid, I used to think of my mom used to watch Ellen all the time when I was a kid. And there's a
You think
great bit. What were you going to say?
are you saying that Dennis Quaid and Ellen look alike?
No, no, no. There's a
Oh,
great
okay.
bit. There's a great bit of Dennis Quaid of like like Ellen made him go into like all these like restaurants and stuff like that. That anytime he showed up, he had to go, Dennis Quaid is here and like announce his presence. And I can't just help but think of that immediately every time I see him in anything. I immediately think Dennis Quaid is here. Like I can picture the whole thing in my head. But he's phenomenal in this. But he plays this like sleazy, disgusting, like executive, like
Oh,
TV movie executive, who his name is what, Harvey, right?
Harvey, it's
Which
literally Harvey. Like, oh my god, we are hitting shit on the nose, but in a way where it's fun. Like same thing with Elizabeth Sparkle. Like that name is fucking ridiculous, but it also like fits like it just makes sense, you know?
but the whole movie, like, it works so well because he's this disgusting, sleazy older dude who's telling Elizabeth Sparkles, like, you are not hot anymore. We're not renewing your show. You're over, you're done. We're on to the next new thing. And then that prompts Elizabeth to be like, oh, I heard about this thing called the substance, which brings out like a quote unquote better you, right? And she's willing to try it, but there's very specific rules around how it works. You have to switch every
Mhm.
7 days, no exceptions. And they give you like a food bag. And the way they switch is one of the most
Ugh.
vile and disgusting things that I've truly ever seen. But I think what the movie does really, really well is it's the like David Cronenberg esque body horror is
Mhm.
fantastic in it, but it's the little tiny things of like whenever Harvey is like eating or something like that, there's that first scene when he's in the restaurant with Elizabeth
With the
and he's having this
lobster or the
yeah, he's having the
shrimp or whatever the
lobster and
fuck,
shrimp
like, oh.
and he's just it's close-ups of his mouth and then it's like all these disgusting sounds of somebody eating, like very
Mhm.
visceral. And it's just all like very in your face and he's like ripping it apart, leaving stains all on the like the table and he's like "Ah, well making like all these gross sounds. He's like, you're just not attractive anymore as he's got like
Yeah,
food
literally.
all over
Like,
his
what
face.
see, like, that's what this movie for being a body horror movie, I fucking love every moment of the satire in it. I think it's brilliant, and I think, like I mean, we'll go through the plot as it goes because this is one of those movies where I genuinely don't think we could review this without doing that. But, like, shit like that is just it's so it's on the nose, like, it's very like, it wants you to know what it's making fun of, but at the same time is also, like, being done in such a clever way, like, almost like it almost to me, it took a lot of scenarios that I've seen tackled in different. Because I mean, this movie didn't, like, it didn't reinvent the wheel, like, it's not the first movie to ever come up with that concept of, like, aging. I mean, that's just the way society is with women nowadays, it's fucked up, how they've been reinforced by shitty male behavior for the most part, and some even within their own ranks, as you see with kind of with Sue and Liz's relationship, because that kind of devolves into that too. But it's just like you're literally watching this guy with all this white lobster shit just go everywhere, like absolutely disgusting. It like that was literally auditorily and visually appalling, which like is hard to pull off. And also making it funny at the same time. Like, God, he is so good at playing the charismatic douche. There's this show Goliath I watched recently with Billy Bob Thornton, and it's like an anthology show. And like the third season, he's like one of the villains in it, and he's, oh my God, but he plays such a Ray Liotta could do the same thing, just like the fucking charismatic douche. But no, like he is Harvey Weinstein. Let's just put it right out there. Like he is disgusting. Every idea you've ever had of a shitty film executive is Dennis Quaid in this movie.
I mean, they really hit the nail on the head with it, where the first line you ever hear from him in this movie is you see him, it's a close-up of him going to the bathroom. But it's like, it's which is a wild way to start that. But it's like, it's a close-up of his face. So like not anything like, not like, his junk or anything like that. But it's just the close-up of his face as he's using the urinal talking with somebody. And he's like, I think it's like one of the first things he says. He's talking about how disgusting and old Elizabeth Sparkles is. And he goes,
Yeah, yeah.
hey, women are most fertile between the ages of 18 and 30. And you're like,
Ugh.
ew. Like, why are you talking about this when you're in the bathroom? Why are you talking about this period? Like you are
Yeah.
a disgusting, creepy, vile old man. And like, why is this a conversation that you're having? And it's like, it's kind of hinted that much later on in the movie. He's having these conversations with like the studio executives, right?
Yeah.
Like when he brings on like the board members and they're all like
Oh my
smiling,
God.
creepy old white men, and they're like, hey, like I it's just absolutely perfect that it's like you get right off the bat that he is a perv. He is disgusting. And you're like, okay, so we're setting the tone of this movie that a lot of the idea is a lot of people in Hollywood are these gross people who are only attracted to what's on the outside, right? They just want
Mhm.
the next new hot young thing. So that forces Elizabeth Sparkle's hand into saying, okay, well, I have to try something different. And she goes to dramatic lengths, which is supposed to be, again, kind of like that metaphor of how far are you willing to go to maintain your youth? And what are you willing to put into your body that you don't understand?
Mhm.
Which leads into the idea that I like this movie's done like vignettes, right? You have Elizabeth, and then you meet Sue,
Yeah.
who Sue is Elizabeth, but younger. And the way that scene happens is without a doubt one of the nastiest things I've
Ugh.
seen in my life, of just Elizabeth Sparkles takes the substance. She's like, okay, I'm doing this. I'm not really
Yeah,
feeling
I
anything.
just shot up the substance. Like
And
maybe
it's
I'll have
like
like a heroin withdrawal. I'll be all right, right?
it's like neon green too.
Ugh.
It's like
Yuck.
this vile green color. And then all of a sudden she's like shaking and she goes to the floor, and her back like rips open along her spine
Ugh.
in this disgusting visual where Sue comes out of her back, and it's like literally birthing a child out of your back, and it's like,
But yeah, like if your whole back ripped apart, but
oh,
not well. It's not even. And not even. Well, the fucked up part is imagine giving birth from a child from your back, but instead of a child, it's a grown ass 30-year-old woman.
and it's like,
Like, bro, what the fact that she even like made a comeback at one point, because like that scene was gross, but to me, and I think you felt the same way based on our reactions during the movie, that I almost thought it was more gross when fucking Sue was suturing her like
oh,
barbarically suturing her back together after that,
which
which like
minor gripe. How does she know how to do that? Like,
I know, you said that too, which like which is fucking crazy. Like the we had so many questions throughout the movie about how this works, because like okay, it's like one thing that um she's giving birth to Sue, and like that they have to like switch on and off. But like the biggest thing that we were trying to rack our brain around, but eventually came to the conclusion, like probably within 5 minutes of Sue being birthed, is like, okay, if they go to sleep, but like, do they share? We basically determined they share a subconscious,
yeah, so
like a consciousness,
they share subconscious. They have the same memories, the same like kind of thoughts, things like that. And one important thing to remember too is they tell you in the instructions of this, she gets like an instructional DVD, which is
hmm
like a crazy thing.
Oh my God, the way it's I think I described it like damn, they got the guy who hired the like, you wouldn't like steal a gun or like whatever it is,
You
like
would
the fucking
download a
old.
car.
Yeah, you wouldn't download the gun or car or whatever the fuck. Those old like anti-piracy commercials, like literally edited like that with
It's got like
the
Club
subs.
Mix, and you're like, yeah, change every seven
Literally,
days.
I'm like so curious. Okay, so I did look up who the voice of the substance was, and it's someone named Jan Bean. So
That is like a
that's
sick
definitely
name.
not that's not probably not a real person. Um,
No, it's AI.
I yeah, no, it's a oh no, it's very much actually a real person, and this person is actually really handsome. He looks like Michael
Is he handsome Squidward?
Fassbender's. Kinda, yeah. I don't know. Like, I don't know. You'll have to look it up after to be the judge of it yourself. But anywho, yeah, no, just like that was disturbing to me. The suturing, just all the way they thought of this shit. Like, even the concept of like, okay, so to keep this thing alive, you're going to hook up an IV to a food thing
Oh,
that's going to gradually feed them over 7 days. Like that's feeding them. Well, calling that food is very generous. I would call that
it's
like
like paste.
yeah, paste. Here's your paste, kiddos. Yum yum yum. I love to eat glue, but like, oh my god, just all the ways they came out with it, like. It's funny because even for some of the grosser stuff in the movie, the shit with the needles always was like, I mean, I'm not one of those people that like I'm okay with getting my blood drawn and shit. I mean, I don't love having needles hooked up to me. Actually, here's a random non sequitur, an analogy, whatever the fuck you call it. Um, so I'm allergic to nuts, including these nuts. Thank you very much. And I had my first allergic reaction in like and fucking Tom's laughing because he was like one of the first people I told about this. But like I got ice cream, okay, and but we pre-ordered it online. And I kind of just took a bite into it. You know, I usually like to see them make the ice cream in front of me because keep in mind, like I do not get allergic reactions often. I go out of my way to avoid it. But fucking, I get this ice cream that was like caramel peanut butter or some shit. I don't even know. It wasn't cookie dough. Definitely was a cookie dough. And like I took one bite and I'm like, oh no. And
You're like,
so
it's Jover.
yeah, no, literally, I was like, it's truly Jover. But where I'm going with this is like fucking a. They hooked me up to like three crazy ass IVs of like Pepsid, some steroid, and fucking Benadryl. And the Benadryl, oh my god, I saw the Hat Man and the Hat Man's father. All right, I was on one, but no, but like, so needless to say, but I was fine. So I can handle my needles, but fucking A, the scenes of them, ugh, just
That's
honestly,
because in this movie they're like this big when they come in. They're like
yes,
they're made because they're getting like spinal fluid out of you because it's like you have to. I can't remember the
that's the
terminology
se-
they use for it, but it's like a
that's the secret to the substance. It's literally your
yeah.
spinal fluid because it is you. I think the idea is like, okay, once again, we thought we were qualified to talk about a movie very much focusing on sexuality, and now I'm thinking I'm qualified to talk about science. But if I'm not mistaken, a lot of this, I think a lot of stem cells come, I think spinal fluid is like part of that process. So I know, I mean, there's a reason why spinal taps are so common. Like, I watch The Pit, guys, okay? I know what the fuck I'm talking about. But anyways,
Doctor Stock is in the house.
Dr. Stock, there I am, Stockula coming to a theater near you. I'm in rare form today. I have to be for the substance because honestly,
I mean, it was just so like I'm with you. I'm not like terrified of needles or anything. I get my blood drawn relatively often. I donate blood on a like on a yearly basis, whatever. As long as I'm not looking, I'm fine. And even if I look, I'm just like,
yeah,
oh, okay. It's not like I'm gonna pass out. I just don't want to look. But dear God, the needles were like they were for like
oh
spinal taps. So sure, they're going in. It's like you have to readjust like every day. So from the one of you that is asleep and like basically in a coma, you have to give them a spinal tap and take enough for 7 days, like enough spinal fluid for 7 days, and then you have to switch every 7 days because you have to let it reset. And the only way to do that is to let the whatever version of you is not active become active, right? So
yeah,
Sue decides that she's like, oh, I'm gonna go audition for this like be the new Elizabeth Sparkles. It's gonna be so good. I'm gonna be great. And she
Well,
gets hired.
did we tackle, not to cut you off, but did we tackle why she ended up getting the substance in the first place? Because I think what going back to the subconscious thing of kind of to give you an idea of why she mentally deteriorates. The whole reason she ended up like getting the substance is she's fucking driving after that Harvey Weinstein Quaid rant and sees a billboard of herself getting taken down, like literally the ultimate like fuck you has been, and then gets into like a horrific car crash, and it turns out the young nurse at the place who looks like a literal like photoshopped, like you're talking about handsome
Looks
Squidward.
like a
This guy
Ken
looks like,
doll.
yeah, like a Ken doll for real. That's I remember you saying that. Um,
And he's like super creepy because he's like touching her spine and he's like, good,
oh yeah,
good.
you're an
You're
excellent
perfect.
candidate.
Yeah, he calls her candidate. And I was like, yeah. Like, I think there's literally only one good dude in this movie. There is one singular good person. I actually have it in my notes that I'm looking at right here. I think what was his name? I wrote it down here. Uh, uh, where I had it somewhere here. Oh, this man. Oh, his name is Fred. Our
Oh
dude,
yeah,
our
Fred,
dude
Fred.
Fred. He's Elizabeth Sparkle's like friend from like elementary school or some
Friend
bullshit.
is a stretch. Friend is
Yeah.
a stretch.
He was like
But
obsessed with her, right? And he was like,
yeah,
"You're so beautiful." Like he's like, "Even now, you're just as beautiful as I remember you." And she's like, "Yeah, okay, weirdo, whatever, thanks." Fred becomes important more later in the movie, but it becomes a big deal after that creepy doctor is like, here, and he like leaves her this little note of like the substance. So that's where she gets into that whole thing, and she's like kind of teetering with herself. She's like, "Oh, a better me. I could be a better me. I can do that." But you also have to remember, they say a better you. It's still you. It's a very important point in the movie that you are one, right? It's not two different people.
you are one.
Yeah, you got the like the you are one. Like that was actually a pretty good impression of how they do it. But like
Yeah, damn. Wow, you like nailed. Damn, bro. I didn't know you had like a career in
every 7
in-
days, you
Yo,
must switch.
yeah. Okay, I know I said to maybe not watch this movie. Well, no, definitely watch this movie, just not with your significant others. But holy shit, if you've seen this movie, you got to tell me that isn't dead ringer what he's doing right now. That, especially the second time you said it, like I can't even do it. You just
It was like so mind-boggling. So eventually Sue's like, she sees an ad that's like, be the new Elizabeth Sparkles. She's like, uh,
on a billboard right in
yeah,
front of her apartment.
yeah,
By the
literally
way.
right in front of her gorgeous apartment. It's like, be the younger, hotter Elizabeth Sparkles because she's old and gross
It
and
might as well have
washed.
said that. It might as well have said.
So she's like, you know what? Screw this. She buys like a skimpy uniform. She's like, I'm gonna go and I'm gonna audition for this. So
I'm
she
gonna
goes.
objectify myself. Why
Yeah,
not?
but it plays into it. Like we're kind of joking, but she's like, I am going to sell my body, basically.
Yeah.
So she goes over and she's like, she auditions, and even the guys doing the audition, the directors are so gross. Where they're like, all
Oh,
right, they don't. I don't think they even ask for her name until the first things they ask are height, weight, and like stats.
measurements.
Height, weight, and
Measurements.
measurements. That's what it is. Height, weight, and measurements. And they don't even look up yet. They're just like, all right, height, weight, and measurement, like writing things down. And they're just being so superficial. After they look up, they're like, "Oh my god, you're gorgeous. What's your name?" She's like, "Sue." And they bring in Harvey because they're like, "You got to talk directly to Harvey." And they do another great close up when he makes her twirl in a really gross way.
Ugh.
He's like, "Oh, spin." And he goes, "You're hired." And it's like another great close up of just his mouth doing like a creepy smile because he's like, "How old are you?" "Oh, cool. You're young." Great. This just feeds into my perviness. Ha ha ha.
I think she liked it. She might have said she was like 25 or it was like something like
It was
that.
like right in
That
the
like
middle of that age gap.
yeah, that fit like perfectly. I think it was. No, actually, I think you're right. I think she said she was 25 to be in between that 80 to 30 to exactly, circle back to like the growth. Oh God.
But
Oh,
like
he played a creep so well. Holy shit.
it's like unbelievable because they have some great moments in this movie. Like the commentary is on a whole nother level. That it's like
Hmm.
when there's a whole part where you find this kind of back and forth that Elizabeth and that Sue are doing, and it's
Mhm.
okay at first. You know, they kind of are trying to figure out their balance at first. It's like, all right, well,
Yep.
Sue's like, oh, I'm this new like dance instructor. I'm teaching people how to twerk and everything, showing off my ass. But every
Oh my
seven
god, the
days, I have to go
twerking
visit my
is
mom. the So much of this movie is insane ass shots. Like it's unbelievable. Of just
and not just insane ass as in like insane like whoa, those are some wild ass shots. No, like insane like gratuitous shots of literal ass.
literally like
Like
panning and like tilting shots of just ass like for so much of the movie, but it's a commentary on like this is what people want to see, right?
yeah.
This is what the pervy directors are looking at, like that kind of stuff. And
Mhm.
eventually Sue's like she's like, I don't really want to switch. So she is like, okay, I'll just, I'll let Elizabeth kind of sit there for an extra day, and I'll just take one
Why
more
not?
extra day of spinal fluid. Why not?
Yeah, so she can like fuck some biker guy who's
Yeah,
like a
she's like,
complete
oh,
douchebag.
this biker dude hit on me, so I'm just gonna go get railed. But let me just do this.
That's I'm just gonna go get.
She's like, hold on, hold
You're
on.
out of pocket, Tom. You're out of pocket. That's
She
crazy.
she's like, hold on, I got this. So she takes an extra day. When she switches back to Elizabeth, her fingers like all like necrosis and
Oh,
disgusting, and it's like gross colored, like misshapen warts on it. And so Elizabeth calls the substance, and she's like, "Hey, I think there's been a slight misuse of the substance." And they're like, "What? Like what's been given cannot be taken." And you're like, "Okay, what does that mean?" And they're like, "Do you want to stop?" And she's like, "No, I. Why would I want to stop?" Another again great commentary, because she's seeing a physical bad change, and she's like, I don't want to stop yet, because it was I love the way they did it. Was my first thought when she said no, is because she's like, she already can't live without that feeling of being youthful, being younger. She needs it, she wants the
mhm.
attention, but she's not ready to admit that yet. So she's like, no, I
No.
don't want to stop. And they're like, okay, keep it going. And they're like, they just hang up on her. They're like, there's nothing we can do. Get fucked.
Just respect the balance next time.
Yeah. You are one. I love every time she calls them, by the way. They always like just basically tell her to fuck off. They're like,
Yeah,
oh, they're like, she's the worst. And they're like, you are one. She's like, they're
literally.
just, I want my life back. They're like, do you want to stop? Like, and then they're like, no, she's like, fuck off. And then they just hang up on her. So now you can start to see the shifting in the tone of the movie, because Elizabeth sees right outside her fucking window is an ad for Sue, a big ass billboard for Sue and how
A
great
big
Sue
ass
is.
billboard.
Literally, she what is it? Is that Seinfeld? She had a big ass.
No, that it's Seinfeld.
Why
That's
am I thinking
Heat, bro.
he? And
That's
that's what it's.
that's Heat. Al Pacino.
Yeah,
He's like,
she
she's got a
a
great
great thing.
ass.
She got a great ass.
Which,
Like
like, fun fact, I'm pretty sure that scene was like improv because and like fucking Hank Azaria's reactions during it are literally real because like he had to look like he like horrified like to not die laughing. But anyways,
But it's like it's just she's seeing like a better version of herself on this massive billboard right outside her window. And she's
hmm
like, "Okay, well, I don't want to go outside now. I don't want to do any of this. Like I don't want to see the world because the world sucks." And she was going to go on a date with Fred when she like, remember, she puts the gloves on cuz she's like, "Oh, I got to hide my gross looking finger." But then before she goes on the date with Fred, she had called him. She was like, "Fred, I'd really like to go out with you." Like, you think she's starting to respect that balance and be like, "I'm okay with being older right now."
hmm
She looks at herself in the mirror. She starts like messing up her makeup and everything. She can't figure it out. And then that's when the change starts, where she's like, "I'm gross. Me at this current stage in this age is gross. And I don't want to be seen like this. This isn't who
Well,
I
but
am."
literally from just like a necrotic like and that's the thing. That's where he harkens back to what we were talking about earlier, where it's like first you're getting like the metaphorical like there that stuff's all kind of internalized like in her head, but now those fears, those anxieties are literally reflecting on her body. I mean, granted, it's of the result of something that, quite frankly, is, you know, science fiction and wouldn't happen in the real world. But it's great commentary on how, even though, necessarily people don't have the access to the substance per se, you can do all these. I mean, for Christ's sakes, it's literally like people getting like fucking what do they call it, like crazy ass plastic surgery, like the
Yeah.
Mar-a-Lago face. Like, I mean, literally, in a way, it's taking that. I didn't even think about that when watching it, or even right after, but now I'm thinking like, wow, like that's not only is it commenting on the idea of just like the women dealing with how society reinforces that older women aren't attractive based on fucking shitty norms, which is like awful. But you get feminist, by the way. But you get had to throw that in there. We love women on flicks and flops. But anywho, we really do. But oh shit, I really lost my track of thought there. No, it just kind of like reinforces like, okay, like if you participate in these behaviors to try and like you know deform, not deform yourself, but like try to prolong
Like debase
things that
yourself
don't need.
kind of thing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, for sure. Like it's basically, it's a very dramatic and science fiction interpretation of it, but to be honest, the concept is no different than how that is tackled in society today. So, which on the surface, like once again on the nose, like that seems like basic commentary, but the way that this movie handles a lot of those parts is like oh, executed like cleanly, and also makes you think more about it than you would expect you would, if that makes sense.
I mean, that part of when she's first like noticing the like decrepit finger starts to open up to one of my favorite parts of this movie, the back and forth of Sue and Elizabeth fucking each other over in
Mm-hmm.
different ways.
Mm-hmm.
So what Elizabeth likes to do is she just gorges on food, which
Oh my
is
god.
again, like the commentary is all over the place here, but like that's another thing when people are unhappy in their lives or they're bored, like there's a lot of like people tend to overeat, right? That's a big
Mm-hmm.
thing. So especially with people who are struggling with like weight loss or trying to struggle with their image if they're not happy with their figure, people
Mm-hmm.
tend to eat and food is like it fills the void of that insecurity. It fills that hole kind of thing. So I thought that that was just a great metaphor, but she's like gorging on these like
Oh my
disgusting
god.
foods and it's like again very visceral. She's using her hands to rip apart like chicken and everything. Like it's
Oh,
very
that scene.
much
Oh my god, that scene where she goes all in on the what do you call it? That was crazy. Where she like basically decides so Dennis Quaid at that lobster shrimp thing gifted her, or I think before after that actually it was like her going away thing. Like
yeah.
the first time she went to the studio after becoming Sue, they were like, "Oh, we missed you. We want to have a drink with you. Well, here's all your goodbye stuff. See you later." And but my wife got you this book. Oh, but it's great. And so it's a
He's like, I
French
love my
cook.
wife as he goes around and
I know.
he's like, oh, younger women are so hot.
I know, literally goes, "I love my wife." Yeah, no, who we never see, of course. Anywho, so what's crazy is it's a fucking French cookbook, and she like starts really crashing out, um, at Sue, and just cooks every meal in the fucking cookbook.
Oh,
Oh, and eats all of it, dude.
it
Oh
was
my
like
god.
so nasty. And Sue wakes up
Oh,
the next day and sees all this. And then Sue's doing her like twerking workout show, being like hips and thrust, which I think we're gonna have to do a demonstration of that at some point for people. Maybe that'll be on the Instagram. We'll find out, but who knows?
yeah, yeah.
But she's doing like her whole thing, and all of a sudden there's like something pops, like this big ass shape just appears on her ass and then goes away, and
Yeah, though,
they're like,
like
stop.
it's like almost like a chest burster. It kind of like
Yeah,
briefly appears on her
yeah, like
ass
from
mid
Alien.
twerk.
Yeah. And it's like all the producers would be like, "Stop, stop!" And then they're all like, "This was one of my favorite scenes because it was like another great commentary." I'm saying all over the place, but hilarious, but great commentary at the same time, which is really hard to pull off. Of
Hmm.
when they go,
Very.
"Okay, pull up camera 3," and it's just a camera devoted solely to her ass, and they go, "Zoom in," and then they go, "Okay, we're gonna take it frame by frame," and it's like 8 dudes staring, going, "Mm-hmm." Mhm.
Mhm,
It was
yep.
like frame by frame of
I
her
know, the emphasis they
twerking.
put on that, like, slow it down,
Yeah.
even more,
Like,
frame by
so
frame.
yes. It's very much like the, what is the enhance, enhance, like, that kinda thing. But and, like, you can see she's freaking out. She's like, "I gotta go to my dressing room." And that's when she pulls out of her belly button,
Out of her
like,
belly button, her
a
fucking belly button,
like a
ugh.
chicken carcass. She reaches, like, her whole hand in and, like, pulls out, like, a chicken
Oh
bone.
my god, yuck. Which how did no one ever walk in on that? That's the biggest thing.
But I
Like,
love that that's when the movie starts to really get into that whole demented sense of, like, "I'm fucking with you, you're
yes.
fucking with me," and they're both calling the substance being like, "She is the worst! She's a fat fucking slob!" And then the substance is like, "I don't care." And then, like, Elizabeth calls, she's like, "She doesn't do anything, she doesn't follow the rules." They're like, "Nope, same person, don't care." And, like, they keep hanging up, which, like, I love that they, keep trying and trying and trying because it's supposed to be like this message of being like, you feel so helpless, you'll do anything for answers, and you keep going back to the same
Yeah.
source, even though there is no answer. The answer is to stop, which she won't do.
She won't, no.
And it gets to that point in the movie where they're like, "Do you want to terminate this?" And she's like,
Mhm.
"Yeah," which would mean that Sue would die. But as she's about to kill Sue, she's like, "I can't because
I can't. I love her.
I love her. I need her." And that's
I mean,
like
she says that out loud too, like, I'm not just, like, saying
no,
that,
she
she
really
literally says
does. And that's
yeah.
like the heart and soul of this movie is the being so uncomfortable in your own skin, like
Mhm.
literally that you need a quote unquote better version of you to live your life. And it's supposed to be like be comfortable with who you are. It's okay to age. It's okay for these things to happen. It's natural. It's part of life.
Mhm. It's interesting because you kept saying it a lot when we were watching it, like, it's all she knows. And like
Yeah.
if you are in an environment where the majority of your life you have been at a level of fame that is so, I guess in the grand scheme of things, like, compare, there are a lot of people on this fucking planet. Only so many people hit a level of fame that Elizabeth Sparkle hits, and when you're in that, it's hard to let go. I mean, I think you even again. I mean, God, you were Socrates that day, man. You were on one, but you basically also were
Thank you.
like, I could kind of see that like with you made a comparison to athletes, like an athlete's money and shit, like how, there when you're in this moment, it's really easy to forget that the shoe's gonna drop and eventually all yeah, you said all things come to an end.
Yeah,
So
because especially that whole point about athletes, like it's a big movement now. It's like a side tangent, but like they, especially rookies going in, like a prime example is the NFL, right? Rookies
mhm.
will go in and all they've known their whole lives, let's say they come from rough upbringings, right? They don't have a lot. They get into the NFL and they get all this money thrown at them immediately, and they get told how great they are, how awesome they are, like they are the next coming. They're the goat. They're the best. They're so good. So they get money thrown at them. They get constant admiration thrown their way, and no one ever tells them no. No one ever tells them that it's going to stop. And what happens is, the average lifespan of let's say a wide receiver in the NFL is 5 years. They don't realize that these kids are like, I'm entering the league at like 20, 21. I'm going to play forever. You're out
Yep.
of the. Some of them are out of the league by 23 and they don't know. So they keep spending and spending and buying nice cars, nice houses. Next thing you know, there's no more paychecks and they don't know what they're going to do with their life because their whole skill has been revolved around this one thing they do, which is football. And that relates back to this movie because Megan Sparkle or Elizabeth Sparkle has known her whole
Megan
life.
Sparkle.
Megan Sparkle. Like Elizabeth Sparkle has known her whole life that like she's just this uber famous like talent. She's just this like next level beauty. That's all she's known her entire life. It's this glamorous lifestyle. So for her to all of a sudden after whatever how many years she's been doing it for it to end, she's like, what good am I? What else can I possibly do? And she doesn't want to confront these feelings of like, what skills do I even have? What am I supposed to do with my life? I have so much more to live, but I don't know how to do it. But Sue knows how to live because Elizabeth's been in that position. And that comes to a big head too when they have the whole, oh, Sue's going to do the New Year's Eve show. It's gonna be
Oh my
so
god,
great.
the fucking New Year's Eve show, bro. The way they handle like the build up to that is just like insane. It's like it she like thinks she's gonna get fired and it's like, oh no, you're too big for the morning show. You gotta be on the New Year's Eve show. 50 million viewers. It was like so
With Ryan
ridiculous.
Seacrest.
With Dennis Quaid Quest. Like, oh my god, bro. Like fuck off.
But like, I loved how she's like, oh, okay. She stayed as Sue for a whole extra week, so for 2 weeks when they're supposed to switch every week.
Yes.
So she was like, "Oh, I just got to do this," and then all of a sudden you keep seeing her
Well,
go
no, it
back.
wasn't a week, dude.
It
It
was
was
more. It's
3
like a month.
months.
Yeah,
It was 3 months. I think the first time was like a week,
yeah, because
and
she's like,
then it
"Oh, I
was
just an extra week of shoots," and then she keeps going back. She's like, "We're on the cover of Vogue," and she's like, "I love how peppy she is with doing this stuff," but then you can see the like wound on Elizabeth's back is gross and like pussy and all this disgusting, vile looking stuff. And it's like eventually she's not getting any fluid out of her. She's just getting like pure pus and like ooze. And when she calls the substance, it's like you have to switch. Like that the resting is the only way to reset it. But New Year's Eve is tomorrow. So she's like, I can't switch for a week. It's just not gonna happen. So this is one of the most disgusting things is when she's finally at the New Year's Eve show
oh god. Ugh.
and her body starts falling apart in the most in like ways that I think what this movie does with the body horror and the prosthetics, a plus. It like seriously,
Insane.
they look
Insane.
everything looks so realistic. It's unbelievable.
Mhm.
But like, I think what this movie does better than a lot of other body horror movies is it preys upon what a lot of people kind of are afraid of, or things that could realistically happen, and
Mhm.
things that are like so gross that even just thinking about it sends shivers down your spine. Like
Oh
pulling off
yeah.
a fingernail, pulling teeth out, like those kind of things are so visceral and like so just like that everybody can imagine that and immediately be like, ooh, that is nasty. So like,
Ew. It's the worst.
and I love that as she's losing her teeth, Dennis Quaid finds her and he's like, "Hey," and he gives a an amazing line of, "Oh, pretty girls should always smile," and it's like, you're
So
just
give us a smile.
yes, give us a smile. He's like, and she does this little like, like mouth closed smile, and he's like, perfect. Like he doesn't even care. He's just like, oh god. And but I love the way he's doing it when he introduces the board. And he's like, these are the board of directors, all just old white men being like, "Hey," and they're all like creepy. And they're all like super super creepy, and I just love that. Like, pretty girls should always smile. It's like so gross.
Mind you, she doesn't have teeth at this time. Her
Yeah,
teeth have fallen out.
she's got no teeth. She's pulling her hair out. It's like all so disgusting.
Ugh.
So she runs home and she's like, "Oh man, you know what I should really do is take the substance again as Sue."
As Sue. After, mind you, this is already after she's beaten the shit and killed uh Elizabeth. You know, they have their big
Yeah,
fight when they like when she
Elizabeth turns
try
into like the hag.
yeah, like super mega hunchback and like she tries to that's when she of course finally decides to kill Sue and but like she doesn't go through with it until the very end and because of that they're both conscious at the same time. That scene was fucking crazy too. Like what the fuck? Like
seeing
oh my
seeing Elizabeth as this like hunchback Notre Dame disgusting figure
even more
was
disgusting than that. That I don't think is selling how fucking gross. I mean, the prosthetics for Monstro Elisisu is one thing, but
oh
the hunchback shit was like, oh my god, dude. Like,
the hunchback, and then it's just got like swinging boobs too, like
yeah.
saggy swinging boobs. You're like, why
Ugh.
is this even in the movie? But like it's so good. So eventually, Sue's like, I'm just gonna kill Elizabeth because she's gross and disgusting, and I'm so much better.
Which, like, yeah, you've already ruined your life. Like, if fucking
Yeah,
my fiance kept saying, like, oh my god, why doesn't she just like end it now? Like, what is she doing, bro? Like,
I I think it's amazing of when Sue goes back to the apartment. And she's like, all right, I'm gonna take the substance, and it says directly in the bottle, one time use only. So she's like, as Sue, I'm gonna take it, and she goes She keeps saying, "Please make a better me. Please make a better me." And I think that's supposed to be like the like you're at the end of your rope. You'll do anything, anything you know
Anything.
you're not supposed to do, and your mind it doesn't stop you because you've turned off all judgments. You have no good ideas
Oh yeah, I
because
mean
you're
the
so
way we see
desperate.
her, the way we see her psyche devolve in this movie is like that. There's a whole episode of this show we could do dedicated just to that. You know, like just holy shit. But
But you
oh
do get
god,
you get that third vignette. Remember, there was two before. There was Elizabeth and there was Sue. You get the third vignette of
Monstro Alyssa Sue.
Monstro and Lisa Sue, which is both of them have been combined into one disgusting,
Ugh.
vile, like mutated creature
Calling it
with
like a Lovecraftian horror would be
yes,
not selling it enough, though. Like that,
honestly, Lovecraftian
like
horror, like a step above that. Like honestly,
yeah, like I
you have like
whoever made this movie, like they were creative as fuck when they were coming up with shit for this movie,
it's
man.
got like
Oh my,
teeth. It's got like teeth on the chest, and it's got like Elizabeth's face like
the
peering out
face
of her
thing was
back, and she's like,
that was brilliant. Like just
yeah, she's like struggling to breathe. She's like
yeah.
constantly. And then it's got like one eye's like this, and then another eye's like down here. It's like
Hmm.
it's the nastiest thing. She's got like one strand of hair, but I love
And
the
like
scene.
combs that strand of hair, like
She's
bro.
like combing it, and then she puts the necklaces on her ears. She's like getting ready for New Year's Eve, and it's like as if nothing is wrong at all. She's acting like it's totally fine.
Well, of
And
course, after she cuts out the face of Elizabeth to like look to like turn her face into like something acceptable.
yeah, she takes like in Deadpool when he puts Ryan Reynolds' face or Hugh Jackman's face and staples it onto him. She takes the
Yeah.
Stu face and staples it onto her head, and
Oh
she
my
goes
god.
back to the studio. And I wish the movie ended this way. I really do. This was so good when she goes in. They're clapping and they're like, "Wow, what would we have done without you? You're so perfect." And she's clearly this monster, like
Yeah.
very obvious. And they're all like, "Yay, you're so beautiful! Oh my god!" Instead, this is my only real gripe with the movie is the way it
Yep.
ends.
Me too.
Takes away
I
from
know
the rest of the movie.
I know where you're going with this.
So, Monster Lisa Sue goes up and she's ready for New Year's Eve, and everyone's like, "Oh, I can't wait to see this." And she walks up after all the dances are done. She's like, "It's me," and it's like
Help
everyone's like
me
freaking
there.
out. Yeah, she's doing this like weird voice. She's like, they have like subtitles for her. And then all of a sudden they all go, "Monster!" They all start freaking out. They're like, "Freak!
No,
Freak! Shoot her!
freak!
Shoot the
Freak!
freak!" And then someone,
And they start beating her up too.
yeah,
Like they people can literally go and push her. Like yo, what the fuck?
and then someone screams, "Shoot her in the tin!" And it's like the craziest. It's like the craziest sequence ever because they all start screaming, and then someone rips her arm off, and then she just starts spraying blood all over the audience, like an insane amount of blood. It's like there's no way you couldn't have a room full of 10 people and get this much blood out of all of them. It's just
Hmm.
like everyone's coated in blood. They're literally ripping her apart, and she's like spraying blood all over them. She's like, "Stop, it's me, it's me." Like that was and then they have this like almost heavy metal music playing too, so you're like, "What the fuck is this?" Like to me, this is where the movie tends to struggle is because the whole message is great up until that point when it's just like, okay, this is just violence and gross to be gross. So it's not the same. Like, I get it. The idea is supposed to be there's blood on their hands too, on the audience members, because everyone was silently encouraging this because they didn't stop her. Nobody told her to stop doing this. Nobody said, "You are good as you are." Instead, everyone just was like, "Oh, we're happy for the new hot thing." So I get the idea they were going for, but it's just so like underwhelming, I guess is what I really want to say about it. Because the rest of the movie was just so good that the ending pales in comparison.
Yeah, no, and yeah, agreed. And I think like I know both our significant others felt the same way. Like this movie is so good, but it doesn't nail the landing for me in that sense. I get what they're going for. Like this grand thing. But I think they already did crazy shit with that. Like you already the fight between the Hunchback and like Sue was already crazy enough. We don't need like Monster Elisa Sue like doing. I mean, the very end scene with the head like on with her face like on her star, to harkening back to like the very beginning, like cool. Problem is, to get to that, they had to do that crazy shit, and it just took me out of it at the
Y-
very end. A lot of the movie's really good, but like I don't know if I can recommend it because of the ending. It's like one of those movies where it's like it's a smooth ride, it's fucking great, and then the plane fucking crashes.
I still want to recommend it to people, but with the caveat of saying, imagine after she turns into Monster Lisa Sue,
Hmm.
that when she goes into the studio and everyone's like, "You're so amazing," stop it right there and act like the movie just ends abruptly. I think that
I would like that a lot more too. I
it
think.
doesn't cut out that much of the movie. Honestly, it's probably like 5-10 minutes at most. I think if you cut that right before she goes up to the stage for like the New Year's Eve stuff,
Hmm.
I think if you just left it as if like everyone, because I like the message a lot more that leave it on everyone's participating in this, by
Yeah.
just they see something is blatantly wrong and they don't care because on the outside, on just her face, it looks fine.
Yeah.
So I think that would have been a much stronger ending to the movie.
It would have fit with the rest of it, right?
Yeah, it would have made more sense in the whole theme of the movie to have this all of a sudden become like a bloody gore fest. It just it felt like it didn't really fit the tone of the rest of the movie.
No, it didn't. And granted, the rest of the movie like was very out there as it were, but like we didn't need to go like. I feel like it jumped the shark almost for a movie where it was already so fucking out there. It just went a little too out there at the end. You
I
know?
mean, it had me hooked the entire time. Like,
Yes.
and then all of a sudden at the ending, I think you and I were kind of like laughing because it was so over the top.
Oh yeah, I was
And not
fucking
laughing because
laughing
it's
my
funny,
ass
but it's
off.
just because it's like it's so out there that you're like, what else do I react to this with?
Correct. When it's supposed to be like a big thing of, her. I don't even know. I don't even know if it's like supposed to be a big thing. At that point, it was just like, I feel like a lot of it had already, a lot of the tension had already been resolved in that fight between the two of them. So if you cut it right at that part, God, you're right, dude. Th- Tommy, you should have edited this movie. Okay.
You know what? This is my calling. I'm gonna be a director. It's decided
Right.
now.
Right. I think so. But overall, I mean, what you said earlier about it, like one of the greatest movies I've seen that I won't watch again, or like a good movie that I've seen that I won't watch again. But the problem is like what this movie is good for me. I can't in good conscience call it great because of the ending. The ending just that's what fucked me. Like if they nailed the ending, I would have been like, wow, that was fucked up, and I don't know if I'd recommend it like to the average person, but like for people who want like absolute cinema, I would definitely like recommend it then. But
I
I
mean,
hesitate to because of that.
it's hard because it's such a very niche movie
Hmm.
that the average person trying to just find something to watch probably would not like this at
No,
all. You know,
no.
this is
And
one of those
I think
movies.
there's a reason you and I waited this long to watch it, even though we were both were like, "Oh, this would be a cool movie to watch." Like, it literally took a podcast to get us to watch the movie.
Well,
Like when
because
you
it's
think
like
about it that way.
it's so funny because thinking in the grand scheme of a lot of movies,
Hmm.
typically when people are looking for it, it's the average movie going experiencer sitting at home. You want to watch something on streaming. I can't really see a lot of people watching. I don't see this becoming. I see it becoming kind of like a cult classic. You know what I mean? It's like
Hmm.
the people who are super into it are super into it, but the problem is it's going to be hard to find that audience because you got to find that like the people who love David Cronenberg movies, that kind of thing, like The Fly. You got to find that grouping and they'll love this. But you're not going to get a very big audience with a movie like this. It's more of just people are going to ask, "What do you think?" And it's hard to recommend because it's just like if you don't like movies like this, if you were just looking for a movie to watch on streaming, because we saw somewhat HBO, HBO Max, HBO Go, whatever the fuck they want to call it now. Like we knew what this was going into it.
Hmm.
But if you're just looking for a movie on streaming and it's like just you or like you and your significant other or whatever, you're probably not going to watch this. In all honesty, it's probably going to fly under the radar on streaming.
Oh, for sure, almost without a doubt. And I mean, if it did for you, I wouldn't blame you. I mean, hey, if you're into some like, if you want to try a weird experience, this definitely fits that and more.
I mean,
So,
if you're looking to expand genres, if you know whatever, go give it a try. But if you're
why
emotionally
not?
scarred, don't blame us.
No, we warned you. We really did.
Well, I think that'll about do it for this episode. So, as always, you can follow along on YouTube. You can hit the like button and subscribe below. You know, we're gonna have to do that whole thing now. We're always gonna have to shill for that.
I mean, we've been trilling enough as is. Why not? We can sell out some more for ourselves. Why not? And Chunkies. All hell Chunkies. Great sponsor.
All hail Chunkies! All hail
Yep.
Chunkies!
Head on down to Hughes Road in Manchester, New Hampshire, right behind the mall, New Hampshire. You know the vibes.
We can follow along on all the social media too. And until then, we'll see you later, or we'll see you next time.